Hi everyone. This talk is entitled "Quote: Building a Marketplace Startup During the Pandemic." So our team is a team of about 20 now, right? And we are the largest B2B marketplace in the Philippines, right? So we're practically like Lazada or Shopee for business, and we're the largest in the Philippines. We have been quietly heads down working, on stealth mode, and we're launching to the public, through this talk, through this activity with Startup PH, Startup Week PH. Um, I have with me my co-founders, right? So si Joseph, si Ina, and si Gino, right? And as I mentioned kanina, no, we already have 20 guys in the team, but I have with me our main co-founders now who helped us build the venture from ground up. So let me give you a short introduction of Code, right? What we've been doing, what we're all about. So Joseph here will talk us through with it. So me and Joseph will just talk you through our story. So again, these are the fine, good-looking people, that helped steer, Code during its infancy. Now we're proud to say that we're a like tight-knit team, where we've really just put our heads down and worked and worked and worked and worked, and just waited for this moment, like 1 year after, to tell the world, na we're ready and open for business, and we're very excited to have everyone partner and come on board to our platform. So just to give you an idea of our journey so far, um, so we started this idea in October 2020. Back then, it was just a seed idea. No, back then it was just like a white paper, right? We got funded around November, and that's when we started building. No, so and it was a tough sort of quarter, when we were building it. We weren't sure if it would work out. No, if we weren't sure if people would like it or if people would even use it, right? But me and Joseph, we just continued, iterating quietly and building the product. Um, I think it was around the holidays, no, where we had like uh, a meeting, right? So around Christmas holidays of 2020, we had a meeting, and we were looking at our platform, back then, and it was so ugly, right? So you can still remember, like it was poorly skinned, it was so ugly, it was so slow, right? And we were asking ourselves and each other, if people would would want and onboard this ugly product, right? Um, but I think what we thought was, if we're gonna wait for it to be perfect, we might be too late, right? Where if we are gonna wait for it to be presentable, even we might be too late, right? So yeah, we shipped our ugly product, right, to our first customers. No? And it wasn't an easy task, but eventually, we would have our first transaction in January, like a full 4 months, after we started to build, right? Siguro, Joseph, you can tell us a story of like how that transaction with the bank happened.
Okay, so yeah, thanks for that, no, Ian. So actually, the first transaction of Quote occurred on January 15. Okay, so it was a bank. Okay, and they purchased a couple of cans of Lysol and bottles of hand sanitizer. Okay, so what we did there was basically we were hand holding the buyers on one end and then the suppliers on another. All right. So we were guiding the buyers on how to add items on their cart, send it through the approval workflow, and then issue out the order to the supplier. Okay. And on the other end, all right, we were guiding the suppliers in order acceptance as well as order fulfillment. Okay. So safe to say, the order went through, okay, and it was delivered, no, within a couple of weeks, okay. And after that, we engaged our pilot buyers, and suppliers and ask them for feedback. All right, on
Yeah.
what are the points to improve, and what can be built. All right, what needs to be improved and all. So yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that, no, Joseph. So I think the key message here is, um, you even then, we weren't thinking about scale. No, even then, we were just thinking about like, could we actually close one transaction? No, and like that Lysol sort of moment for us. No, our first transaction was a Lysol like, spray can, right? It was it was something na parang super manual, super handheld, like we were literally badgering, the branch manager of the bank, the teller, just to make sure na they could understand our ugly platform, right, at that time, right? But I think even then, no, we felt that we were on to something, right? Even then, we were surprised that how better the experience is, right, for the buyers, right? And because of that feedback, because of that experience, and we just continued, working toward it. And very, very slowly, we finally landed on booking $1 million worth of transaction, right? And this is between January and May. So January, February, March, April, May, like a full 5 months, right? So again, were we worried if people would actually use it and would like it? Yes, there were sleepless nights. Um, Recap, we took 4 months from 0 to 1, and another 5 months, right, from one transaction to $1 million, right? So there's a pretty like long haul, non-scalable experience, right? But again, no, we keep on saying, we put our heads down, just iterating and continue working. No, um, and then more recently, we're proud to say that it did not take 4 months or 5 months, no, to reach our next $5 million. No, so we're now at 6 million GMV book, well, as of August, right? And we're quite proud of what the team has achieved. There's certainly more of us, but that's where we are. That's our journey so far. Right? And next is, we're proud to say that we're an award-winning platform. No, we're an award-winning project. No, that first customer was indeed Philinvest Group, right? And we have been awarded by IDC, no, which is a global award-giving body. It's a global research agency, no, and they have recognized the good work and the hard work we've done here, and recognize that, hey, this is the future of operations, no, the best in future of operations, no, the way we did this transformation effort in code. Right? Okay. And to give you an idea of like the scale of where we are, just a few months in, no, into this journey, we're already booking as customers some household names, no, and we're already booking very well known and very trusted brands, right? So there's a few banks there, and we all know it's not easy, to do business with such strict sort of regulated industries, no, but we still manage to do it, no, and we still manage to acquire these customers, right? I guess I'll ask Joseph, which one is your favorite, customer here, and why?
Okay. So as mentioned by Joseph earlier, we do listen to our customers a lot and learn from them. So we've spoken to a number of businesses, and what we learned is that no one really loves procurement. Procurement is such a long and painstaking process that takes weeks, from a purchase request from someone in the office to having these items delivered to you. And this is because from a purchase request, I go through my supplier list of maybe 10 or 20 suppliers, call them up one by one, email them, ask them to send me a quotation, and code these quotations in Excel, compare to make sure I get the best price. Sometimes it goes to 2 to 3 levels of approval from my supervisors before it actually turns into an order. And Because these manual processes happen in separate offline systems such as pen and paper, email, and Excel, each step takes days or even weeks to complete. Documents get lost along the way, which causes delayed in payments or issues come delivery time. So this is why we built Quote. We built Quote to make procurement easy for procurement professionals and small medium enterprises. Next slide. So our solution is first a streamlined RFQ module. Second, we have the largest B2B catalog in the Philippines. And third, you can easily access supplier documents for your accreditation. Next slide, please. So this is our RFQ form. So it's a pretty simple and straightforward form. So for example, I would need to buy 35 units of laptop. I indicate here the specs that I need in terms of RAM or storage and so on, and my preferred payment terms or delivery lead time and other special requirements. So I fill this up and click send, and automatically this sends to our pool of existing suppliers. And in just a few hours, next slide, please. I get three or even six quotations then and there, where I can compare these quotations from our RFQ feature. Another way to buy from Quote is through our product catalog, which is similar to your Shopee or Lazada experience, where you can just add an item to your cart and click checkout. And next slide. We can also add different approval layers from there. So if it has to go through like a service manager's approval and like my division head's approval, Code can definitely accommodate those kinds of controls here in the platform. We have over 600 suppliers on the platform, all with certification documents just to make sure that these suppliers are legitimate. And each supplier, we collect basic business documents. For you as a buyer, you can easily access these documents for your accreditation. Okay. To sum it up, we built Quote to make B2B buying easy for both procurement professionals and SMEs. So next we'll have Gino speak about the supplier side of Quote. Gino.
All right. So thank you very much, Ina. So now I'm quite excited to show you guys the various features on Quote that will help our suppliers get more sales. Okay. So the first one was really our bread and butter. The feature that got us from 0 to 6 million GMV, which is the respond to RFQ feature. So through Quote, suppliers will now be able to access all of the RFQs of our buyers with just a click of a button. So suppliers really just need to click respond to RFQs, check the buyer details, and then click view to see the details of the RFQ. Okay. So once they click the details of the RFQ, they can then see all of the relevant information of that buyer's RFQ, such as the description of the requirement, the payment terms requested, the delivery details requested, and also any access to supporting documents that the buyer needs or attached to the file, such as sample pictures of products they want, PDF detailing product specifications, and the like. But most important of all, the, the supplier can just click one button to submit a proposal. So this is a huge step forward from the old traditional way of just sending back and forth emails just to send one proposal to just one buyer. Okay. So once the supplier has sent in a proposal, all they need to do would really just to wait and see if they are awarded the sale from the buyer. Though while waiting, they can already send out a message to the buyer in order to coordinate any clarifications they may have regarding the RFQ or the proposal. So once again, this removes the need for any back and forth email threads as all of this is made through code. So another exciting feature for our suppliers is the opportunity to build their online B2B catalog. So through Quote, they can already feature any services, products, or items that they may want their buyers to see. So through this, if a buyer is interested in an item that they may have, they can just click a product catalog. Then you can just click the item in the product catalog and then directly order it from the supplier, or even better yet, directly request a quote from that supplier for that item. So the last exciting feature that I would like to discuss would be the opportunity for the supplier to build their online supplier profile. So through Qwote, the supplier can build an online supplier profile accessible to all of our buyers. So through this, the buyer can already see all the necessary company details such as numbers, address, and emails. And better yet, the buyer can already access the necessary business documents of that supplier, such as the BIR2 TOT and a sample sales invoice. So our goal for this is really to speed up the accreditation process between the buyer and the supplier. So all the buyer needs to do would be to check the supplier's profile, download all the necessary documents, and all the necessary information for their checking. So once again, it's a much smoother experience than from the old traditional way of sending back and forth emails and files. Okay. So showing here an example of a completed supplier profile. So as you can see, the buyer can readily access the catalog of the supplier, and if they click about, they can already see all the information and documents of that supplier. So to summarize everything that I discussed, what we're really trying to do for suppliers, it was do a supplier digital transformation. So the old ways of sending emails, doing cold calls, and even sending Viber messages is all consolidated on an online platform, which is Qwote. So through this, the supplier can lessen their time on the administrative task and focus more on getting more sales and higher margins.
All right. So now that you have a good idea of what we do and like the technical aspects and the product aspects of Code, no, we want to share with you like under the hood, like what are our secrets? No, we want to share to you our secrets. Now, having built this amazing platform from scratch and in stealth for an entire year, right? And you know the workplace we built here is pretty special considering this is a post-COVID company, considering it's a work from home company, and considering I have never met a single one of my teammates in person. So I'm gonna say that again. I have never seen my teammates, like none, zero, zero, none. Right. So we're about 20 people. We have never seen each other in person. Right. So let me share with you how we make it work. No. And let me tell you our secrets. So again, no, as I was mentioning, we have about team of 20, no, from the four founders we have in this call. Now we are 20 very motivated, very engaged guys, no, venture guys and teammates. And we're actually hiring, no, to reach 60 by this time next year. So again, no, we're always hungry for talent. We're always hungry for A players, right? We'll get there. We'll discuss that in a bit, right? But what's important to take note here is the team is very engaged, very motivated, and by any measure, right, they love working in code, right? In spite of being a work from home post COVID company. So as a founder, I on a daily basis, I have to think about how to manage the time, attention, and energy of my team, right? When I wake up in the morning, I think about my team. I think about like in this framework, like I think about every single day you're given 1,000 minutes, from Papa Jesus, gives you 1,000 minutes, 1,000 waking minutes, 1,000 waking minutes every single day, and you ask yourself like where do you put the time, attention, and energy, right, of your team and of yourself, right? And what I found out through this journey is, and there's no better way of managing that, the 1,000 minutes granted to you every single day to make your life productive, to make work productive. And the best way to manage that is through culture, right? If you have the right culture, if you have the culture that allows people to be their best versions of themselves, right? It makes managing the time, attention, and energy of people easy, right? So I figured that out, along the way, and that's the first thing I actually built, right? So that's the first thing we actually built, and day in and day out, we talk about culture. We're very intentional when it comes to culture, and we know that even the technology that comes second, right? The startup really is a culture, no? It's a way of life. It's a point of view, right? So yes, culture is the first thing you should build. As we know, no, the common maxim, culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? So that's very true. And people will always revert, no, to what's the culture, no, of a venture, of a company. And sometimes it disrupts execution. Sometimes it disrupts outcomes. So as a startup, culture is your most important product, right? And what we found out is, organizations can upgrade from being a C plus culture to a B plus culture, right? But in order for you to build an A culture, you have to be an A organization, an A venture from the start, and you have to be very defensive, no, and intentional in preserving that A culture, right? So again, we believe that building an A team is very different from building a B plus team or a C or or a B team, right? We believe that it's all about keeping high potential, high execution, high quality A players, no, A people, and keeping them and preserving it through culture, right? And again, um, this is because we want to make sure that the A team, the A players we get will have the best allocation of time, attention, and energy every single day, right? So we all know this, right? This quotation from Steve Jobs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense to hire smart people and then tell them what to do, right? We want to hire smart people so they could tell us what to do, right? But of course, in this quotation, no, he didn't really tell us how, right? He didn't really tell us, okay, now I have the smart people. How can the smart people tell us what to do or tell me what to do, right? And when we think we found the solution, and it's through culture, right? Let me give you one specific example, right? Um, Culture is very important because you will hire people, right? Culture is very important because you will have new joiners, right? And how will the new joiners know how to behave, right? If you don't have a set culture that you espouse, right? So a practical example would be something as basic as, does your company do prayers before meetings? Now, some companies do, right? Some companies don't, right? Does your startup do prayers before eating? Right? So imagine like in a office offsite or like in an office lunch, like do you expect the people to pray before eating? Right? And those things are culture points, right? Those things are defined by the company culture, right? What's your meeting policy? Like what's your leaves policy? Right? What's your away from keyboard policy? Right? And all these things they dictate the culture. If you're a new joiner and that's not evident, right? How the hell would you know how to conduct yourself, right? How the hell would you know to fit in, right? How the hell would you know how to behave, right? So defaults matter, no? And again, we have this startup saying, diba, parang defaults matter. In a startup, the culture is the default, right? Defaults matter in startups, but defaults matter in life. And when you set the culture, you set the default, right? What is the default behavior that you expect from your team? What is the default behavior you expect that people conduct themselves, right? The culture of a company, the culture of a venture is what sets those defaults, right? And heartbreaking, but sometimes true, a default culture for Filipinos sometimes is not conducive to success. Sometimes when you take Filipinos all in one room or all in one organization, sometimes the worst sort of Filipino behaviors. I'm not saying for all, right, but sometimes it happens, right? Conformity, crab mentality, and sometimes just being generally sleepy and like low motivation environment. And this is why sometimes we have to hire like people from outside the Philippines, right? To to inspire and motivate people. Sorry, Filipinos, right? And sometimes it happens, right? Sometimes the culture of Filipinos is not conducive to success. Sometimes, right? So we have to protect against these things, right? From a cultural standpoint, right? So just having highlighted why culture is very important, having highlighted why your first product as a startup should be culture, right? We want to give you some practical, actionable advice, right? As you set your culture, it sets your defaults, right? It sets the expectations for people and for teammates, right? And it's a very big thing, more important than strategy, more important than maybe any other thing, even the tech, right? So what we want to give you is 5 very actionable things that you can try, right? And these things certainly work for us. Being a post-COVID company, these things work for us. Being a truly work from home company, right? And we hope na parang you can get some value out of this. So first of all is to write your culture, right? You have to codify your culture, right? Culture is very important, as I've mentioned before, right? And the solution to make it harder, right, is to write it down, right? You codify your culture, you write it down, you repeatedly challenge and evolve it like code, right? You write it down as if how you would write code. You open source it to your teammates, right? And you iterate on it. You iterate on your culture. Your culture basically is your default, right? It's sort of your software that runs the entire organization, right? So you have to iterate on it. How can you iterate on it? If it's not written down, just write it down, right? So write your culture down. Iterate on culture like how you would iterate on a product. Get consistent feedback from the team, you know, and ship new features, right? Ship new cultural norms, right? You ship, like for example, a new laptop policy, right? You ship a new like wallpaper policy, or you ship something as basic as okay, from now on everyone has to be camera on when we're doing meetings, right? And you continually challenge your culture and you ship new features, you ship new culture points. Um, you tend to your culture like you would tend to a garden. You prune, pluck, fertilize, you water, you seed, you grow it, where necessary, right? So imagine your garden patch, right? Imagine that being your culture. Imagine that being your culture documentation. No? So whatever is there, people should tend to it. No? People should fertilize it. People should grow it. No? People should iterate on it. Again, no, I can't emphasize it enough. You have to write your culture down. No, it's too precious to be left to chance. No, you write it down, you codify it for people, especially new joiners, to understand and read and see for themselves, right? Because otherwise, how would they know, right? So you write it down. So this is how we execute. No, how to write culture down. No? So document it in a single open document. No, which is open to all, right? So anyone can read, from the janitor to the CEO, right? And it's open source, right? You open source it to your team, right? Maybe even a few friendlies, maybe to your board, right? You open source it to as many people that you think would have valuable feedback. um, this would show everybody that they can comment, contribute, and shape, the target culture. It's a living document. You write it down in a single open document, and there's some software you can use. Um, and you know what? As you go through this journey of writing it down and iterating it, some extreme experiences, good and bad, will influence it, but that's good because you're writing it down, you're iterating it, you're improving it. Okay. Another tip is you should do a daily culture check, right? So, for example, for us, even today, from 4:45 p.m. to 5 p.m., anyone who's not so busy and all new joiners are required to attend a culture check for 15 minutes every single day, right? We sit together in a room virtually, right? And we talk about our culture, right? We talk about the things we do, the things we do not do, the things we celebrate, the things we hire and fire for, right? All the things in our culture documentation, right? And every single day, we try to preserve it. We try to iterate on it, like how would you would tend to a garden patch, nga, right? So, practical advice: 15 minutes. It's the most important 15 minutes of the day. You should do it. And next is have a tool, right? So depending on the tool you use, you will be able generally to tell who is looking at the deck, who is not looking at the culture documentation, no? Who is enthusiastic about the culture, who is not, who is commenting, who is contributing, who is iterating, who is shipping new culture points, right? Um, and you know what? It's very important that you write it down, use a tool, and later, no, Gino will discuss all the tools you can use, right? It's very important you put it in one place and in this tool so that you can make it available and you can optimize, the use and iteration and the improvement, of your culture documentation. So yeah, that's how we execute it. It's basically an open document, and we do it daily, a culture check daily, and we use tools and technology, to support, our aspirations, for our culture. So yeah, next is our second secret, right? So Gino.
Okay. So thank you very much for that introduction regarding our culture, Ian. So now I just like to discuss the tools that actually allow us to build and live that culture. Next slide, please. Okay. So as Ian mentioned, we're a purely online, a remote company. So we've actually never seen each other, and so far we haven't really seen a reason to, because we have these effective tools that allow us to do our work. Now, working remotely brings up these questions, such as how will the team communicate efficiently online? What will be our standard tools of communication? And what will be our standard modes of communication? Next slide, please. And even when it comes to meetings, it will bring up questions like how do we avoid wasting time on long virtual meetings? When does the team actually block off time for meetings? And does the team have enough ample time left for desk work? Next. Okay. So all of those questions can actually be answered by by our company's principle, which is we prefer asynchronous communication, meaning we are able to work individually while always being in the loop using the various tools at our disposal. So the top three tools that I'd like to discuss this day would be Gather, our virtual office space, Notion, our virtual notebook, where Ian says we write everything down regarding our culture and all our updates, and also Google Chat. So as you can see below, that's actually snippets of Gather or our virtual office. So in the next slide, I'll just be talking a bit more about Gather and our experience with it. Okay. So as you can see, we actually use Gather for our myriad of things. So we use it to mimic real life, spontaneous interactions and socialization. So you can see one picture there where we're having a virtual meeting in Gather. You see one where we're having a virtual catch up in a park bench in Gather, and even a virtual hangout in a beach in Gather. So through Gather, even if we work purely remote, we don't really miss out on the social interactions that we would usually get from an office. So that's really where we do our day-to-day tasks online, but also socially connected. Next slide, please. Okay. So next would be our mode of communication. So in quote, we firmly believe that we should have a culture of writing and not meeting. So because of this, we actually don't take afternoon meetings. And instead of meeting, we actually tag each other in Notion boards for updates and information. So I'm actually sharing with you here a screenshot of our actual Notion board. So this is where we actually talk asynchronously. And because of this, the team is able to work on their own individually while always staying in the loop through the various notifications and updates in Notion. Next slide, please. Okay. So the next thing I would like to discuss would be our firm belief that focus is the most important thing. And our team acknowledges that we can only really focus on one thing at a time. And the most effective focus tool or method that we really discovered is time blocking. So as you can see in time blocking in the left side, that's usually how a typical quote employee's calendar will look like. So we lock in our time to only do one specific task at a specific time of the day. Through this, we take control of our day, and we're not really that prone to distractions or really getting out of focus from our objectives. So it can really vary per quote team. Let's say one member might opt do suppliers on Mondays, or and then buyers on Tuesdays, and then platform development on Wednesdays. Or maybe one may opt to do coding time in the morning, and then afternoon would be updating the Notion boards. So it's really up to our discretion, but the main principle is we lock our time, we focus on one thing during our time, and then we block our time off. Next slide, please. Okay. So as discussed, we actually firmly believe that there shouldn't be afternoon meetings. So to discuss further on why we believe this is so, I'd like to introduce Sir Joseph.
Okay, thanks for that, no, Gino. So just to echo what Gino mentioned, no? So at Code, we do not take afternoon meetings. No? So inherently, traditional Filipino companies love meetings, very long meetings. Companies today make their employees attend very lengthy meetings to discuss, and align on certain points and information. So with what Gino mentioned, so we use Notion for asynchronous communications too. And if we meet in the mornings and afternoons, employees end up doing desk time in the evenings. No? So there would be an issue of work-life balance, as well as not having enough time to rest and catch up on your personal life. Here on Code, afternoons are sacred and are reserved for desk time and execution. The team will not be able to perform and execute if they attend too many meetings. So in the mornings, we take all alignment meetings and sessions and whatnot, and then for afternoons, we reserve it for desk time and execution.
Yeah. So actually, that concludes our presentation today, and we can take in some questions. Okay, so thanks, no, everyone, for your time. So there's actually four ways, no, we could work together, and we'd love for you to, help us continue the mission, no, to make B2B easy, right? So first, you can invite your corporate buyer contacts to onboard Qwote.ph, and they can come in as buyers, enterprise buyers. Second, if you have friends who are B2B suppliers, right, they can also come on board as suppliers in Qwote, right? And we will be able to help them increase their sales at higher margins, right? Um, through the platform. And third, we are launching Qwote to the public, both through this event and virtual trade show, the biggest of its kind, on November 26th, right? So that's a free event. You can set up your virtual booths, and whatnot. Just get in touch with us and if you want to join, the virtual trade show. We have a lot of good speakers, who will talk about B2B and digital transformation. Right? And lastly, if you're interested to join, we have an open headcount for another 40 people, right? So there's four people here. After a year, we're at 20, and next year we're gonna be 60. So we're hiring 40 more people, 40, right? And you can come join us. Just hit us up. If you believe in our mission of improving B2B supply chains, and improving um, how we do B2B transactions, in the Philippines, right? And for all those four, you can hit us up at help@Qwote.ph. So that's our email. Okay, sige. Thanks again. See you guys. Bye-bye.
This is Brittany. She's been tasked with producing the company's next big event, happening in just a few weeks. The event technology options are seemingly endless. Until she found the perfect platform to engage and delight attendees. This is Excel Events, a virtual and hybrid events platform that has all of your must-have features in one place. From connecting attendees to brand exhibitors, seamless networking functionality, and custom ticketing options, you can manage the event ecosystem all from one place. Stream your live videos right on the platform, or integrate your favorite streaming provider so speakers can focus on delivering their message, while event managers are confident about delivering their run-of show. Attendees can have direct access to speakers using built-in chat features. They can have one-on-one sessions with speakers or other attendees to create an intimate networking setting. Attendees are able to connect to multiple live sessions without ever leaving the platform. Create better events with flexible agendas. Native live streaming. In-depth analytics. Lead gen management. Multiple concurrent session functionality. Integration with popular software solutions. Learn more about Excel Events by visiting excelevents.com. Try it for free today and change the way you see events.
Your customers have bills to pay, essentials to buy, and services to hire. Make it secure, reliable, and hassle-free for them with PayMaya. PayMaya's payment solutions have you covered because now you can accept all kinds of cashless payments any way you do business, whether it's in-store, delivery, via mobile app, on your website, or even without a website. Plus, you can monitor your business growth on a single dashboard.
Nandoon ka at my lowest. Nung isa-isa na wala mga customers ko. Nung akala ko, pasara na shop ko. You gave me hope when all seemed dark and when I was lost. You encouraged me to look beyond, to go beyond, to focus on my family, friends, and blessings despite it all. Lahat yun, naitawid ko kasi nandyan ka sa tabi ko, nagpapaalala na kaya ko. So ngayon dahil sa'yo, mas matapang na ako to face any challenge. Now I realize what matters most. So thank you. Thank you for being there for me through everything. Nagbago man ang mundo, alam ko, kaya ko na harapin ang araw-araw na walang takot. Kasi you are just right by my side. And I can always count on you. Kaya salamat, ikaw talaga ang BFF ko.
Filipinos have struggled with the most essential facets of life, like health, education, livelihood, managing finances, and many more. Our country needs all the help it can get to manage its burden.
We want to maximize digital technology to provide solutions for real customer pain points. This is how 917 Ventures came to life.
The Philippines' largest corporate venture builder. We ideate, launch, accelerate, and scale new business ideas that have the potential to grow fast. Through our portfolio companies, we empower consumers and businesses to power through and emerge stronger every day, pandemic or not.
Our vision at GCash is finance for all.
Beyond financial services, GCash has become a super live app with over 51 million registered users.
Consulta MD is the largest telehealth company in the Philippines with over 1 million users.
Health Now is an integrator platform that brings health and care to every Filipino in one tap at the comfort of your homes.
With these healthcare solutions, Filipinos now have access to doctors 24/7 and get their medicines delivered on the same day.
And as we all strive to search for safer ways to go about our days, we understand how customers are starting to rely on online grocery shopping for their daily essentials. This is where PureGo comes in.
PureGo has become one of Metro Manila's top-of-mind grocery delivery services, with its best-priced grocery items from trusted brands.
Sparking a difference on ad tech, digital media, and creatives that helps brands create more meaningful connections with their customers by leveraging data and prioritizing the power of insights.
We at Rush offer an out-of-the-box solution that helps businesses start their digital transformation in the most cost-effective manner.
Rush and AdSpark's marketing, loyalty programs, and e-commerce solutions help future-proof businesses, prepare them for the surge of online shopping and transactions, and find their footing in the digital world. 917 Ventures continues to offer innovative solutions with the addition of 2 more portfolio companies. And Qwote, with its suite of artificial intelligence-powered products, and M360 with its multi-channel communication services. Our secret? We innovate for the people, not the prestige. We ideate opportunities, launch solutions, accelerate lives.
We are committed to build more ventures to further accelerate the country's digital transformation.
The future is now. The future is us. We are 917 Ventures.
Multisys Technologies Corporation is your one-stop system provider. We do advanced systems research and development, focus on evolving assets of IT systems, platforms, and software solutions. We show integrated set of programs and solutions that drive businesses nowadays. Backed by our R&D team, we are able to customize solutions according to your business requirements with speed, accuracy, and efficiency. In our efforts to help Filipinos' way of life through digital innovations and transformation, we partnered with IT companies, system contractors, government agencies, big conglomerates, small and medium enterprises, and tech startups as well. We go above and beyond partnerships. It's a teamwork, and we make sure that your business and ours grow together. We find success in every collaboration and establish meaningful connections. That's why we want to partner with you. Here at Multisys, we empower your business. Multisys is a one-stop software company. So instead of you talking to too many integrators, you'll be able to come up with a centralized and automated way of doing things. We have a team that really move like one. So they are really united. So instead of one programmer, one system approach, I think multiple programmers joining force together, they can collaborate easily. We have speed, we have accuracy, we have efficiency. I think that's the secret of the group. That's why companies love to work with us. It will be faster for them. It will be more efficient to develop and deploy a certain system. They are a designer, they are a coder or programmer, they are a systems analyst, they are a quality control expert, and they're a UI and UX expert as well. That skill is not easy to really somehow have in one program. Multisys can really customize the system. We can customize it according to their needs, design for their own and existing process flows. We're all racing against the clock. priority of Multisys is to elevate the lifestyle of every Filipino by delivering automated, integrated systems to make sure that we can fast-track the operation, processes. I think it's all about how fast can you deliver a certain technology. Speed matters nowadays. Sabi nga sa Tagalog, diba, daig ng maagap ang masipag. That's why we develop futuristic systems. What we do is that we predict the future, we develop, and then the moment that we are partnered with a certain entity, we're able to show them a live system. It's not a PowerPoint presentation. It will be a prototype, it will be a working system. So this will give them an idea how to solve a problem. This will give them an idea to expedite their processes. So not only showing them a vision, but showing them a solution already. We develop end-to-end solutions for 8 industries now, and we would like to automate other industries as well. Currently, we have an end-to-end solution for information technology businesses, ERPs. We have e-government solutions, healthcare, an end-to-end solution for utility, whether you are an electric company, a water utility company, a telco, or a cable utility company. We do also retail, hospitality, academe, and of course, the new one is the banking and finance. Here at Multisys, we empower your business.
There's a reason why for the last 13 years, startups overwhelmingly prefer to build on top of AWS. We have the largest number of services, making it easy for you to take on some of the biggest challenges with the smallest teams. We also have partnerships with the top VCs, accelerators, and incubators around the world, making it easier to secure your next round of funding.
I'm a solution architect with the AWS Head Start program. What we do is we work with startups in the education sector, and we help them build their services on AWS.
So We Power Tech is AWS's Diversity and Inclusion Outreach program. The program is really twofold. One is to increase the number of underrepresented technologists within the industry, and the second is to provide a platform for them to be seen and heard.
If you're wondering how the AWS evangelism team might be able to help your startup, there are many ways. We're technically credible across our entire catalog of products, so we can help you figure out which services might be able to meaningfully impact your business. We also want to help tell your story. So if you're building something cool, we want to know about it and help spread that message to the world. So you might end up on stage at an event like AWS Summit. If you're a startup, you should also definitely check out the AWS Lofts. These are event spaces that are free to anyone with an AWS account. You can treat them like co-working spaces, but the awesome thing about them is that we also have people like technical evangelists like myself, solutions architects that come and give hands-on technical workshops and sessions to help you learn how to more effectively utilize the AWS products and platforms that you're already building on top of.
We are a dedicated team of people that love startups, that we just want to come and help you with whatever we can, whether it be technical or business focused. We are here to help guide you and make sure that you do have a say in what's going on. We do get your feedback. We do bring that feedback to the service teams. That is what we're here for.
In this photo is a college-educated man in the middle who struggled to find meaningful work in the Philippines to support his growing family. And so when he was presented with the opportunity to work in the US, he took it. And he was separated from his wife and children for 7 years. And finally, after lots of hard work, sweat, tears, prayers, and by God's grace, all of the details worked out so that his family could be reunited again in California. And as I look back at my life, the sacrifices and intentional choices made by my parents were ones that allowed me to have the confidence and the opportunity to dream. And today, my faith and personal identity in Jesus Christ gives me the freedom to dream even bigger. Did you know that 10% of the Filipino population ends up working abroad due to lack of job opportunities here in the Philippines? That translates to thousands of mothers and fathers who are faced with a similar kind of difficult decision that my mom and dad had to make many years ago, either to stay here in the Philippines, unemployed or underemployed, but together with the family, or for one of them to go abroad with the hopes of being able to provide for a better future for the kids. And one of my big dreams is to be part of creating 10 million meaningful careers here in the Philippines in the next 30 years to help eliminate the need for families to make that same difficult decision that my parents had to make. And that's what Dream Bigger Ventures is all about. We are committed to supporting the local entrepreneurship ecosystem here in the Philippines in any way possible, while going deep with select Filipino founders, providing them whole life leadership training, tailored mentorship to help take their business to the next level, and access to values-aligned capital so that these founders can flourish in leading their own lives, their families, and their ventures. If you're a Filipino founder and you want to learn more about the ways Dream Bigger Ventures can support you on your entrepreneurial journey, I invite you to go on our website, fill out the contact form, and we will get back to you within 5 days. I look forward to hearing from you soon.
My name is John Aguilar, and I'm a serial entrepreneur based in Manila, Philippines. I've gathered a formidable cast of business and industry leaders looking to fund and support the country's post-pandemic solutions. Dennis Anthony Uy, co-founder and CEO of Converge ICT Solutions. David Almirol Jr., founder and CEO of Multisys Technologies. Rose Ong, Senior Executive Vice President and COO of Wilcon Depot. Bernard D., Visionary Mayor of Kawayan City, Isabela. And Jay Villarante, Chairman and CEO of 8 Ventures. Our goal is to find and support the new breed of heroes taking on the challenges of a post-pandemic future. Many will try, but only a few will make it to the final pitch.
We know it's not always easy finding passion and purpose. We know sometimes you can feel more overwhelmed than inspired. But we also know that connecting people to jobs that matter really matters to you. And that's why we're here for you. We know you need top talent to build your business, so we connect you to more than 33 million eager job seekers across the region. And we know strong relationships are essential. We speak your language.
Hello, Jobstreet. สวัสดีค่ะ Hello, Jobstreet.
And provide experienced local support. We also know you want powerful data and insights to empower you and make you look smart in front of your boss. We know while hiring is never simple, our innovations and products make it easier. From delivering better value for your investment to standing out from the crowd. We've got you covered. And we know you like results. We're 2 times more successful at placing talent with employers. How do we know all this? We're your hiring expert and the #1 trusted talent partner in Asia. Start hiring with us now. We know you want to.
Here at Open Space Ventures, we believe in investing with active intelligence. We have a singular focus on Southeast Asia, and we invest in tech companies across all the different sectors. The strategy is executed by our diverse and deep regional team, as well as our active operations team. And by harnessing active intelligence, we have worked with our portfolio companies to to realize bolder visions and accelerate their progress in a responsible and sustainable way. We find, build, and back game-changing companies, and that's the open space way.
If your business isn't online, you need to catch up, and fast. PayMongo helps you accept online payments from credit cards and e-wallets, whether you're selling on social media or through your own website or app. Get started with no upfront costs. Sign up for free today. If your business isn't online, you need to catch up, and fast. PayMongo helps you accept online payments from credit cards and e-wallets, whether you're selling on social media or through your own website or app. Get started with no upfront costs. Sign up for free today.
UBX's goal is to make banking invisible by using cutting-edge technology and data to make financial services seamlessly integrated into the moments that matter for people. By digitizing financial institutions and their back-office systems to make processes more efficient. By equipping entrepreneurs with the proper tools to run their businesses and empowering them to participate in the global economy. And by leveraging on years of experience in banking and finance, logistics, real estate, and tech services. It is our mission to build safer, faster, and more customer-centric fintech solutions for a more financially inclusive tomorrow. Because at UBX, we include everyone.
Calling all small business owners, meet Communicart, a Rappler-led initiative where small businesses can advertise on Rappler's platforms at affordable rates. Get featured on our socials or through a listicle. How about an article? Let Rappler's discerning audience know about your business. Email us at communicart@rappler.com for more information.